Dana White says he is finished with increasing the fight bonuses, and you know who's to blame? The fighters.
You know, every time you get on a press conference, the fighters manage to get you to up the bonuses. Do you think there's an argument that maybe you should just up them to...
I think tonight showed that we should not, no. Upping them doesn't change anything. It doesn't make anybody fight any harder. It doesn't change anything. I'm not doing this again. Ever. Today was the last day that I'm doing that, yeah. Not saying that in the future the bonuses couldn't get up, but I'm not gonna be at a press conference and say 200, 300. Never again. Never again. So you can thank everybody on this card for that. Yeah. Nobody fought any harder. There was no sense of urgency. Holy shit, I want the 100,000. 7 straight. Who gives a fuck? It's 7 o'clock in Vegas, so whatever. Yeah. Never again.
Okay, I lost.
7 straight fucking decisions. Yeah. The 100,000 was a real big fucking woohoo. Let's get it, boys. That shit. Never again.
Tom Aspinall, making quick work of Curtis Blaydes at UFC 304, has convinced Kamaru Usman that Aspinall is the best heavyweight that's in the UFC.
We had a heavyweight co-main event, which was, I mean, to be honest, I told you, it's very hard for me to doubt a guy like Tom Aspinall anymore, and I think right now Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight in the world, in the UFC. The best heavyweight.
Really? So you're putting him above Jones?
Hey, I said
above Francis Ngannou.
No.
Is that what I'm hearing from you, Kamaru?
In the UFC, active right now, I think Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight. I think Jon Jones is the greatest mixed martial artist we've ever seen. I would say this right now. Jon Jones, Demetrius Johnson. Yes, there's this debate, but Jon Jones is the greatest mixed martial artist we've ever seen. I'll tell you that. He's the GOAT. But right now, I believe Tom Aspinall is, I mean, come on. And everyone is speculating, was it a early stoppage? At first, I would think so, but this is the thing with big boys, though. Yes, the jab didn't necessarily complete. It was just kind of momentum. He's coming in. He ate the jab. Okay, he sat him down. Well, he sat him down. Curtis was still there. Curtis saw him coming. Curtis tried to get back up. But those are big boys. He fell on Curtis. He jumped on Curtis. And when you jumped on him, I mean, those boys don't move as fast. And then he starts wailing off. And there was moments to where Curtis was there trying to get up. A shot lands on the side of the head. He goes back down. He tries to get... So it was just kind of this gray area. I don't think it was an early stoppage. I just think, Curtis was just kind of caught off guard and was unable to recover quickly enough before Tom Aspinall was able to pounce on him and completely finish the fight. I just think it was a tremendous fight. I think the speed of Tom Aspinall sets him apart from every heavyweight right now. His speed, his awareness, his fearlessness to go in there and know that, hey, my shots are going to get there before yours. I think you have to put him in there. You have to say that Tom Aspinall right now is the greatest. It's the best heavyweight. And I mean, honestly.
So above Jones. Just say it.
Number one right now, active. Yes, Tom Aspinall is number one.
Okay. Yeah, and I will agree with the dude is gifted, man. The dude is gifted, but because he's only been fighting for, 37? Okay, Aspinall's total fight time in last 4 UFC bouts, last 4 fights, bro. 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Jesus Christ. But that can also be his worst enemy, too. Because a guy like Jones is smart, bro. A guy like Jones, we cannot doubt the dude. The dude could wrestle, and the dude will probably make this dude fight that B-side. But I will say this, man. Tom Aspinall's agility, the fact that he's agility and he's a counter puncher, like he really did counter that jab very well with that overhand, bro. Like his IQ on his feet is good.
Phenomenal.
But we also have to see him in those other areas, man. And like once you start seeing people in these other areas, like I'm gonna go back and talk about Pereira, striker versus striker, striker versus striker. Everybody's striking with the striker. Let's see them fight these guys like a Bilal Muhammad. Guys that are going to really mix things up. Guys are going to make things super problematic. And I just think that's one thing that I still want to see a guy like I would love to. If he doesn't fight Jones, I'd like to see him fight Cyril Gane, man. I think that fight would I think that fight would actually be good. But I personally don't believe that I do believe that Jon Jones after this fight, I believe that he's done. And the only reason why I say that he's done is because he either gets the Alex Pereira fight or he's just done. You know why? Because Tom Aspinall is that fucking dangerous.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Am I wrong, Kush? Come on, tell me.
You're right in a sense. You're right, but Tom Aspinall has showed that he took down Alexander Volkov, the tallest guy in the and armbarred him. Like he's that straight armbar. He's that good. He has submissions under his belt. He can wrestle. I can't doubt this guy anymore. Now, like I said, Jon Jones is the greatest mixed martial artist we've ever seen. I have no doubt that Jon Jones, using his fight IQ, his experience, can figure out a way to beat a guy like Tom Aspinall. But as I'm saying, active heavyweights right now, Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight. And you're talking about a guy like Cyril Gane. Yes, I love Cyril Gane. I love his style. But I just think Tom Aspinall is too much for a guy like Cyril Gane. Tom Aspinall just is just too much well-rounded. And also, you said you want to see him tested in those areas. Curtis Blades is that guy that can, who better than a guy like Curtis Blades? Curtis can wrestle, Curtis can grapple, Curtis has hellacious top ground and pound. Like, come on. And Tom Aspinall still was able to get through him. So I have to take my hat off to him. I have no doubt that a guy like Jon Jones, the greatest we've ever seen, can figure out a way to beat him. But right now, Tom Aspinall he believes it. You can see in his confidence, in his resilience.
He's a real heavyweight.
He is. And, hats off to him. Honestly, you're saying Pereira goes up there. I think Tom Aspinall stops him.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he does it relatively quickly. I think he does it quickly.
People are guessing Pereira too damn much. Like these dudes, these heavyweights, they're saying all that.
I told you already. I think Pereira will put his hands on a lot of heavyweights, with the exception of a guy like Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall is a problem right now, and hats off to him. Congratulations. But Jon Jones is the greatest we've ever seen, and that needs to be the end of that debate. Jon Jones is the greatest we've ever seen. Tom Aspinall right now is the best heavyweight in the world.
Dana White says it would be insane not to make Tom Aspinall the backup for Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Listen, Jon Jones may not be interested in fighting Aspinall anytime soon, but he might have to if anything happens to Stipe leading into their expected heavyweight title fight.
You talked about Aspinall obviously potentially fighting Jon. That's Jon and Stipe is November. Jon keeps saying November 9th. Is there any possibility that Aspinall could be the backup for that fight?
100%. We'd be insane not to make him the backup for that fight.
And do you think that performance, Jon is at the stage of his career where he only wants to take fights that really get his competitive juices flowing. Do you think that type of performance there from Tom Aspinall would potentially get him to show potential?
Listen, Jon Jones is no dummy. Jon Jones, has a very high fight IQ. He knows what Aspinall's got and what he's about. I think that we're going to have to see what happens with this fight with Stipe, see where Jon's head is, or if Stipe wins, see where his head is, and let's see what they want to do. Is it their last fight? Are they going to retire? I think that if Stipe wins, he probably will. But I think if Jon Jones wins, I think that I just think that competitive spirit that he has and his desire to prove to the world that he's the best, especially when people are saying he could be, possibly the best ever. I think that's the kind of shit that fires Jon Jones up.
Would you be a bit pissed if either him or Stipe did call it a day afterwards?
What?
Would you be a bit pissed or a bit sad that they call it a day after that fight?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. When would you?
It's after retire.
Retire? If he retires?
Yeah.
If both retire? Oh, fucking that'll suck. That'll suck. I don't know what we'll do if that happens. I guess then, my guy, there we go. There we go. He slides right in, and the world is happy.
Don't underestimate Paddy Pimblett just because he looks like a 14-year-old girl. Very few people expected Pimblett to hang with Bobby Green on the feet, which the baddie blames on his deceptive looks. Paddy the Baddie was the star of the night at UFC 304 in Manchester. Not only did he charge up a sleepy local crowd with his rousing first-round submission over Bobby King Green, he charged up his bank account with 2 $100,000 performance bonuses. The win puts Pimblett in the lightweight rankings at number 15, a point that Paddy made in the cage on the mic.
No, as I said all week, people thought that I was just going to come straight in and shoot in. And I told you all I didn't need to. You know what I mean? People underestimate me striking, don't think I can strike. I had a striker shooting in on me. You know what I mean? I kept him on the end of my range, kept him on the end of the jab, using me kicks and stuff. I never even got a chance to throw a head kick at him, you know what I mean? But as I say, I leg kicked him and he shot in, and I capitalised on it. I went guillotine, switched to triangle, and I ended up getting taken the arm as well. I thought the ref was a little bit slow, to be honest. I think he was unconscious for a few seconds before I took the arm, because I jumped out the cage and went wild for about 30 seconds, and then by the time I got back in the cage, he was still lying on the floor unconscious.
Were you surprised? I know you challenged him to take the fight to the ground, but like, were you surprised that he shot in that soon? Yeah,
I was surprised he shot in at all. You know what I mean? He's had some brilliant stand-up fights with people. Like the Jim Miller fight. He stood with Jalen Turner. He's done 3 rounds with Fiziev and won the last round. People kept talking about that in the build-up to this. So yeah, I was surprised. But as I say, everyone underestimates me now. Just because I look like a 14-year-old girl. You know what I mean?
UFC icon Chael Sonnen says that after his first round submission, Paddy the Baddie is just 2 more wins away from a lightweight title shot.
Paddy the Baddie is 2 fights. Now, they got to be the right 2 fights. He is 2 fights away from fighting for the world championship.
And you said that earlier.
Yes.
And all of us on this desk know how the sport works and how the UFC works. I think that the 2 fights are Renato and Michael Chandler. And that's what gets him to the title fight.
Yeah, it could be. And not just a title fight where the UFC is going to want to use him because he's obviously good for business. A title fight where we are saying, I think Paddy the Baddie should be next and get a title fight. I mean, at 155 pounds, you know what a compliment that is? That is the hardest division in our sport. That has always been the hardest division in our sport.
To be able to be in this conversation, you had to have done the work on 2 fronts, and he has done that. In terms of making himself an interesting person and now passing every single test that has been put in front of him. However, I still go away with your thought that tonight, Bobby Green made a major error. And I don't want to be someone, I'm not going to take the shine away from Paddy. He deserves every bit of that $200,000 that he is getting. But there are still questions.
I agree with the questions. I'm still kind of like, I don't know. But if he were to get that Michael Chandler fight, the way I see it is, he might have the advantage in that fight.
Yeah.
He's taller, he's longer, he can strike with Michael Chandler. And what's Michael Chandler gonna do, take him down? Paddy's excellent on the ground. Yeah. So I think a fight with Moicano is actually harder. If I'm him, I'm avoiding the Moicano fight and trying to get the Chandler fight.
And by the way, there are supposed to be questions. He just got into the top 15 for the first time. So we're up here saying like, hey, there's still questions like it's a bad thing. No, there's supposed to be questions, especially in that deep a division.
Now let's take a look at the top 3 comments left on yesterday's video. This person says, I'm sick and tired of listening about Jon Jones's legacy. My God, enough is enough. Jon is trash now. His prime times are over. Dana is always in favor of Jones. At Keto1966 says, the fighters should fight whoever the enterprise tells them to because they are in a sense employees and at this stage in their careers very well paid. Jones should be fighting Aspinall first since they already are in the same weight category. He's getting very choosy. And this person says, I hate people who don't pay their bills and then try to run away through the jurisdiction maze. If you want your comments highlighted on tomorrow's video, simply comment down below. We'll highlight the top best comments, good, bad, or indifferent, and feature them in tomorrow's video. And that does it for today's video, but make sure you're liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and clicking the bell notification so you can get notified every time we drop a new video. And in case you missed it, check out yesterday's news.